But you want to talk about Piramal Pharma, didn't you?
Yeah,
and since you got Varsha standing right here,
let's ask her.
Let's ask her. Is this a significant development, Varsha? Is this a big negative?
Well, yes, 6 observation is certainly not a good thing, but one, we need to consider that this doesn't relate to any data integrity issue, so that's a relief. But yeah, stock will be under pressure because 6 observation, we need to mail to US FDA what these observations are and what is the regarding the revenue contribution for Turbhe facilities. So pharma companies normally don't give the contribution to the revenue, but yeah, company will be under pressure, and we all know the tariff, because of the tariff that Trump has decided, pharma stocks will be under pressure. Yeah.
No doubt. In fact, that's what we want to talk to you about this morning. That was just a trick question to set you up, Varsha, because the entire pack is going to be under a little bit of pressure because of that announcement, right? And I like the headline that you've chosen, that the Trump flu is catching for the pharma companies here. How significant are these expectations, though?
Yeah, for the headline, I would thank to the producers, though, Alex. But we all know that Trump has hinted at imposing 25% tariff on import of pharmaceutical. The full announcement will be made on 2nd of April, but the duties will start at 25%. Now, this may go upwards of 25% over the course of a year. But if I were to talk about some data metrics, so Indian pharmaceutical companies supply 60% of generic drug volume to the US, and there was this research done, 10% tariff could reduce Indian pharma companies' EPS from 1 to 6%. Now, this is according to HSBC. The bigger concern is the long-term impact on growth, as US is the major growth market when it comes to Indian pharmaceutical companies, and company might shift production to US-based plants to lessen the tariff impact. But if I were to talk about the revenue contribution of few of the companies, then if you see the Aurobindo Pharma, which has 46% of contribution from US, Cipla has 28%, Lupin 37%, Dr. Reddy's 46%, and Torrent Pharmaceuticals 10%. So not major impact for Torrent Pharmaceuticals, but yeah, Aurobindo, then Dr. Reddy's, a huge chunk of business comes from US. Just a back calculation, impact of 10% of tariff. Let's see how it impacts the pharma company's EPS. So if you see Aurobindo Pharma, the impact would be around 5.5%, while Cipla will have 4% of impact on EPS. Dr. Reddy's almost 7%, Lupin 4.5%, Sun Pharma 1%, not major impact, and Torrent Pharma 0.8%, while Zydus Life Sciences will have 6% of impact on EPS.
Okay. So, Varsha, just to simplify this, quick 10 seconds, which is the one that will get impacted the most?
You have Zydus Life Sciences and Aurobindo.
Negatively?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, watch out for Zydus and Aurobindo. And viewers, what we will do is we'll try and talk to our guest who will join in today a bit later on in the show about how do they see this impact and what should the resultant view on the stocks be. So keep that in mind. By the way, speaking of pharmaceuticals, Chairman, founder of Wockhardt, Habil Khurakiwala, said that the reciprocal tariffs by the US would not hurt the Indian industry. Here's why.
Basically, to make a change in formulation, for example, takes roughly 3 to 5 years. So from that context, there is, unlike steel or cement, you can switch suppliers at a day's notice. You can't do this in our industry. So the view I have is short term. Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected. Okay. But long term, one doesn't know what happens after 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Difficult to call this really, but for now, our assessment seems to suggest that there are a couple of companies at the very least who will get impacted, and there are a few others which will also might get impacted. So do watch out. Not everything will be rosy in the healthcare sector, but it certainly seems to be a sector which will probably be the least impacted, I would reckon, simply because the US wants healthcare costs to come low. They are looking at China plus one. There are not too many other avenues out there. So, and of course, India has been a preferred supplier for a number of years. So that somehow makes me believe that blows, if any, at least in the pharma sector, could be cushioned. The question is, will there be blows in the IT sector and can those be cushioned? And independent